Terry. I'm Misty. I'm going to be your nurse today. We're going to be doing a bed bath. So I'm going to clean my hands here. I'm going to go ahead and pull your privacy curtain. I'm going to lock your bed breaks here at the foot of the bed. Just because we're going to be moving you around on the bed. And I have my wash basin here. So I'm going to fill it with comfortably warm water. I'm going to fill my basin about 1/3 to 1/2 full. I'm also going to ask my client to check the temperature. Even though he has no hand over here, I'm going to ask him anyway. Carrie, let's check the temperature of the water. All right. So I'd state your client cannot tell you whether or not that temperature was accurate. You're going to have to use your best judgment, and you are going to have to make the effort to check the water yourself. That is something that needs to be addressed. Now that I'm back into the room, I have all my supplies here. So you can see that I've placed my basin on a barrier so I don't get water all over the table. I have some soap. I have several washcloths that I've already placed into my water. I have a privacy blanket, a couple of towels, and a clean gown. So hopefully I have everything that we're going to need for a bath. So what I'm going to do is get everything ready. I am going to go ahead and raise the bed up to a nice comfortable working height. This is part of the reason why I lock the brakes. If you're moving your patient around on the bed, you probably should go ahead and lock the brakes. I'm going to go ahead and put the head of the bed down. And still raise the bed up a little bit more. The bed should come to about where your hips are, so you can reach your patient pretty comfortably. All right, I'm going to place this call bell here so we can reach it. I'm going to go ahead and put some gloves on. I'm just going to untie the gown. So once I place the privacy blanket, I don't have to deal with untying that under the privacy blanket. All right, Terry, so I'm going to cover you so that way when we remove your gown, you're not exposed. All right, so what we can do since he is dependent, or we're assuming he's dependent, I just tucked it under his shoulders so that way it doesn't come down when I remove his blanket. So I am going to take his blanket off, at least down to the knees. And I'm going to carefully take off his gown without exposing him. So I've already untied it. Now I can just either unsnap it at the arm or slide it off. On this side, because I'd have to expose him too much, I am going to go ahead and unsnap it. And then I can get the gown out that way. All right, Terry, so it looks like we've got your gown off here. You don't want to expose your client, so he's nice and covered. So I'm going to put this in the dirty laundry. Now at this point, in the book, it's going to tell you that you probably should change your gloves. You've touched a soiled gown and possibly whatever your client has on him or her, so you probably should change your gloves. So I'm going to remove the gloves. And a hand hygiene. And I'm going to put on another pair of gloves. Headmaster does not check for that. It's not in their skills checklist. However, you need to be using your best nursing judgment. What would you do in real life practice? I wouldn't want to touch a soiled gown or brief or whatever it was and then not change my gloves because I'm getting ready to touch clean product to clean my patient. Okay, so at state, all that we're wanting to do is the partial bed bath, which includes the face and the arm and the hand. So I'm going to place a towel under your arm, Terry, so we won't get your linen soiled or wet. And I'm just going to expose just enough to wash my client. So I have my washcloths here. I have a nice wet washcloth. I'm going to wring it out. You're not to use soap on the face at all per headmaster. The book does allow for soap on the face if you ask your client, but a headmaster, just to be safe, because it says so, don't use any soap on the face at all. You're going to fold your washcloth the way that I've showed you in prior skills in quarters, and then you're going to fold it in a triangle, and you're going to clean the eyes first. So eyes first from inner to outer, clean spot, eyes first from inner to outer, clean spot. You can go ahead and get the ears, both inside and out. You're going to get the other ear, both inside and out. And you're going to flip your washcloth again and clean your client's face. This can go into the dirty, and you can dry your client's face and ears. Keep that towel. It does not say to use a clean towel. However, if you want to be very clean, you can switch it out. Now I have another wet washcloth. I can put a little bit of soap on it. And I can wash my client's neck and behind his neck, because it does get sweaty back there, and the top of the one shoulder that they told you to wash. Be sure that when they give you direction on which side to wash, that you choose the correct side. So if they tell you left, you need to wash left. If they tell you right, you need to wash right. If you wash the incorrect side, you will fail your skill. So I've just washed his neck and the top of his shoulder here. I'm going to put that in the laundry, and now I'm going to rinse. I'm just going to rinse, and I'm using different sides of my cloth for each. I'm going to put that in the laundry, and now I have another washcloth that's wet, a little bit of soap. And I haven't folded these over into triangles because I'm actually going to just need this right here, just two sides. So I'm actually going to wash the whole outside back of his arm, and then I'm going to flip my washcloth and wash the whole inside of his arm, the front. That goes into the laundry. Now I just need a wet washcloth to rinse the whole outside back of his arm, and then flip my washcloth over and wash the inside front of his arm. Or rinse, sorry. And then I'm going to pat dry that whole arm. I am going to wash his pit separately. So a little bit of soap here. All right, Terry, I'm going to wash your pit. I'm just going to fold it over just to get one more time, just to be sure. And then we're going to rinse in the same way. Rinse. Just a clean area each time. And then we can pat dry with that same towel. And now all that's left is the hand. So what you can do is you can actually place your client's hand into the wash basin to wash the rest of his wrist and hand. Or you can just use the washcloth. Right now I'm choosing to place his hand in the basin. And then I'm going to dry here on the towel. Making sure to dry in between the fingers. This is not nail care, so you're not required to perform full nail care. And now that he's been washed and dried, I can remove this towel. This is going to go in the laundry. All right, Terry, so now we are going to put on a clean gown. I have a gown here. Move this out of my way. So just open up your gown carefully. Try not to lay it up against your body. And lucky us, this one already has the arms put together. Be sure you're familiar, or one side put together. Be sure you're familiar with how to put a hospital gown together. I'm going to help my client place his arm inside the gown. And I'm going to open it up completely. I'm going to remove the privacy blanket to one side, the side that I'm working on. This is going to go in the laundry. And then I'm going to put his gown on the other arm. It's okay if you snap it first before you put it on, but you need to be sure that your client is dressed before you leave the room. All right. So if you have a difficult time tying while your client is in the bed, you can feed the string through to one side. I have the string pulled through on this side, and I'm just going to tie it as close as I can right here. And then place it back under his neck. I'm going to fix his pillow. Make sure he's comfortable, that his gown is covering him under the blanket. All right, Terry. Make sure he's nice and comfortable. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and lower your bed to a nice safe height, Terry. I'm going to go ahead and raise the head of your bed back up. This is just to make my patient comfortable before I leave the room. It doesn't say which position you're supposed to leave your client in. You just need to make sure he's safe and comfortable. Here's your call bell, Terry. If you need anything, you just let us know. I'll be back to check on you in about an hour. I'm leaving my gloves on because I am going to clean up my mess. So all of this other linen that I brought into the room is considered dirty. I'm going to take my soap and place it in the soiled utility area or his used product area. I'm going to take my basin, I'm going to empty the water, and I'm going to rinse it and dry it and put it in the soiled utility area. And then of course throw my towel out. So all of this I'm going to put away. And then I'm going to remove my gloves and I'm going to hand hygiene. The partial bed bath at stage does not require you to go over to the sink to wash your hands. You can. It'll take up a little bit of your time, but it's not wrong to use hand washing with soap and water versus the hand sanitizer. But all that's required is the hand sanitizer. And you're done with the partial bed bath. Thank you.